Valley Club, is Howard the Duck the next legendary character coming to Marvel Strike Force before Professor X? Are you ready to up your mastery of the Kyln Tower? We have the latest list of enemies that you need to beat for that unlock. How challenging will they be? And a brand new Crucible 32 is coming next week. The new version will feature only 3 defensive rooms, so how should you strategize for this one? We got all these details and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me this week from the land of free healthcare is my brother DorkyDad. And if you're ready for all these topics and more, then brother Dorky, let him know what to do.
Let's go, crack it.
And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. This is DorkyDad, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keeping you updated on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you get some value from this video, leave it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell so you know as soon as a brand new video goes up. We have at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos every single week on this channel. But how have you been, brother DorkyDad? It's been a while since we talked. We haven't talked since last year. How have you been enjoying Marvel Strike Force?
I've been enjoying Marvel Strike Force just fine.
How did you enjoy all those holiday events that were going on? Did you manage to get through those? I don't think we talked since then. And what are you doing this week? There's not much that I'm doing this week in Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah, no, I got through all the Christmas events just fine. This week is just all been about the level cap and the coming Kyln Tower. It's a pretty fun time Marvel Strike Force right now after a big lull. Yeah, the level cap I think is kind of exciting for me and prepping for Kyln Tower. And now that you mentioned Kyln Tower, there have been some data mines over on Reddit. This is from Casper1444. And he says you need Jean and Hercules for that 4 red star Omega Red. And if we look at what we have for this, if you're level 70, you can get up to, or recommended level 70, you could get probably up to 4 cell 13, and that is enough for 2 yellow star unlock for Omega Red. If you could complete floor 16 on that tower, recommended level is 95, and you do need to get some blue level 3 ISO 8 on these characters. That's enough for a 3-star unlock for Omega Red, but if you want to get that 4 yellow star unlock for Omega Red, you need purple L3 on your characters. Recommended level 100, and there's some tough enemies. Have you taken a look at these data mines yet? I have not, actually. Very curious what we're going to see here.
All right, so floor 1, level 54, looks pretty easy. Let's go all the way to floor, what was that again? It is floor 13 gets you that unlock. So floor 13, still probably pretty easy. Level 70 enemies, so as long as you're level 70, you should be able to beat these. If you're level 75, should you get that easy 1-star unlock. Now the next one, floor 14, 15, 16 is where it's going to get you that 3-star unlock. These also look pretty easy, level 95 enemies. Let's start at floor 17. This is where it's gonna get difficult. This is where you need that purple ISO 3 for these characters. So the list of characters, floor 17, there's gonna be level 100, 2 Diamond Gear 19 characters, wave 1, Mr. Negative, Cloak, Dagger, wave 2, Magic, Phoenix, Colossus, wave 3, Kang, Titania, and Absorbing Man. I think floor 17 should be pretty doable. What are your thoughts on floor 17?
Yeah, floor 17 is the absolute A-Force team. That looks really easy, especially because you can prep your Kahori to come in here with her ultimate available, or just make sure you have it for that wave 3. So when Absorbing Man comes down, she tosses the ultimate, followed by a quick special, and that's probably going to be the only really hard wave there. Probably also going to want to bring in some of our bigger hitters, right? Probably want to bring in Wasp, because you got diamonds on her, and if she can have her ultimate ready for one of these waves, it'll just annihilate this wave, so yeah, like a Mr. Negative, a Cloak, and a Dagger aren't really standing up to the new character stats. So that's going to be pretty simple.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy. Now, this next floor to myself, it looks pretty easy as well. Level 100 enemies, 2 Diamond Gear 19, Wave 1, Nimrod, Scientist Supremo, Mega Sentinel. So we're getting some of this Orcas. Then, Old Man Logan, X-23 Doc, and maybe I'm remembering this, right? Old Man Logan seems pretty challenging. And then Deadpool, Deathpool, Gwenpool, Pandapool, so all the pools there. I think we could get through this. This is going to be the X-Men characters. So any X-Men that you have purple ISO 3 on.
Yeah.
I think we could get through this. Now, Dorky, correct me if I'm wrong. We can't hit this Kyln Tower multiple times, each floor multiple times. We just can't heal our characters between the floors, correct?
Yeah, that's how it's been in the past. Whatever damage you do to a node on the first hit will remain there for the second hit. The big problem is going to be the purple ISO on multiple characters, right?
Yeah, so we can do sacrifice teams, but those sacrifice teams need to have that purple ISO 3 on them.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to the next floor. Floor 19. This is also level 100, 2 diamond gear, 19 characters. We got Ares, Hela, Gore. Next wave, the zombie Iron Man, zombie Juggernaut, zombie Scarlet Witch. So you probably want to kill Hela on wave 1 before these zombies drop. And then next wave, Kahori, Miss Marvel Classic, North Star, Guardian. Ooh, no revive onces, lots of offense up. Kahori, just all that speed. This is when I think it gets a little bit challenging. You have your Avenger characters that you have available here. What are your thoughts on this node, if this Datamines are correct?
Yeah, so for the X-Men node, I was like, okay, like Old Man Logan's tough, but he's on the second wave. I can line it up in such a way that I can make sure I drop him below 50% life, and I can turn meter rewind him or kill him with somebody like Rogue, right? If I have my own Old Man Logan and a Nightcrawler and a Rogue, I think I can pull that off. With this one, I see Kahori at 2 diamonds. And I just say like, okay, I need to use Jean Grey or Hercules here to stop that speed bar. You just can't allow that to happen because she's just going to kill you.
Kahori with Miss Marvel Classic, so you might not even be able to get to her.
Exactly. You got to stop her from getting her speed bar. You have to have the speed bar advantage so you can get, if not 1 turn before she goes, 2 turns on a bunch of characters. So I think that node, that's where I started seeing you definitely need one of these anti-speed bar characters.
Is this a sack node? You bring in... get all the way to Kahori, and then you bring in your real team after that?
Not necessarily, because it's the Avengers. You could use like Storm and Beast here, right? Because they have that Avengers tag from the new team.
True. Yeah. Nice.
So we could come in with multiple like Storm use her special on one wave, and then she ults the next, and then on the final wave, maybe you have your Jean Grey special ready. So it's going to be a cooldown management thing for sure, and we're going to have to see how the power of these enemies is going to play into like our smaller Jean Greys and smaller Hercules.
All right, last floor. This one, the enemies look okay. The stats might be crazy though. This is gonna be floor 20, level 100. This is gonna be gear 19, 3 diamond characters. You're gonna have this is where you get that 4 yellow Omega red. Now it has Crystal, Black Bolt, and Medusa. And if we go further, it says, this might be a typo, but Crystal has a health bonus of 3,025% instead of 325% like everybody else. I think it's a typo, but I don't know. Maybe they'll correct it before that. Maybe they won't. Also said Black Bolt and Medusa, 525 extra HP, 145 bonus damage. Crystal also has a 220% speed bonus and a 90% damage bonus. Crystal, if I'm remembering her correctly, as Inhumans drop below 50%, she heals them up immediately. Is that correct? And that was the most annoying thing about her back when Inhumans were in the meta.
Yeah, and when they put them on Dark Dimension nodes, it was really annoying with that.
Yeah.
I got to imagine that is a typo on her health pool. And if this will
it be corrected though, Dorky? That's a big question. It probably is a typo. Will it be corrected before it goes live?
If this is Datamines and these are right, then unless somebody tells them, they probably don't know, and we're gonna walk into a giant crystal, which could be kind of funny.
Well, we're gonna tell them multiple times on the Discord server. Will they actually take action? Let me know in the comments what you think is gonna happen with this. Next wave is gonna be Icarus and Cersei. After that, Venom, Symbiote, Spider-Man. 4th wave, Captain America, Iron Man Infinity War, and Thor Infinity War. Again, these enemies don't look that crazy. I'm not sure what these stat bonuses are going to do with this, though. So this may be the toughest wave, depending on what kind of bonuses these stats these guys are going to get. What do you think? What do you think of this floor?
So, I mean, it doesn't look very difficult, right? But we got to remember, Kyln Tower, we only have 3 characters. We don't get to bring in 5.
Yeah,
so
true.
That adds an element to this, and we don't know when the waves drop in. It could be wave 2 drops in the second you take out 1 enemy from wave 1. Or wave 4 drops in the second you take out 1 enemy from wave 3. Like, that's never really known in the Datamines, I don't think. So there could be some interesting overlaps on how waves work there. It doesn't look incredibly difficult, and with Avengers and X-Men, look, the other characters, the new characters, Gina Hercules are great. I see a really important need for them on the Avengers node right above. I look at this last node and I'm just like, Old Man Logan's gonna rip this apart. Like, this is nothing for Old Man Logan, no matter what they do.
Even with all these crazy stat bonuses that they might have, because
he gets so much energy. He has stuns. He puts trauma out there. Like, he would dead all these characters, which is great. I mean, because most people brought Old Man Logan to Dark Dimension 8, right? Or they want to. So
I'm fine with that. If they make floor 18 and 19 the tough ones, and 20 is like, hey, you got it. Congratulations. Here's your Omega Red. I'm fine with that. But I guess the big question, will they catch this stat bonus? Is Crystal may be unkillable for everybody that's currently in the game.
True.
And the big thing for Kyln Tower is that Omega Red unlock. I'm going to shoot for that 4-star unlock. This, what do you think his value is at the various star levels? 2-star, 3-star, 4-star? What will you be able to do at 2-star that you're not going to be able to do at 4-star? And will you be able to really use this character in Cosmic Crucible at the 4-star level? Do you actually need to purchase some stars for him, more like 5, 6-star, to actually have him be value in Crucible? Or will he be usable at the 2-star level? Lots of variants here. What do you think of Omega Red and the stars for him?
Yeah, so I think he is usable at 2 stars. And that's just because he stops characters from getting safeguard. So you put him and Phoenix against a Mephisto team, and if the other 3 characters can carry, then you're looking pretty good there, right?
Yes.
As far as the difference in power level between a 2-star and a 4-star character, it's not really much. You don't really perceive it very much. You don't feel it very much. But it's 135 free shards on Omega Red if you can get the 4-star unlock. You will feel a little bit because he is very much a stats-based character. And when he comes back, 6 months or 8 months from now, if they have the same sort of turkey store style event where it's very RNG on how many shards you got for him, you'll be happy that you took the time to get the extra shards on him now, so you can get to the more meaningful star levels, that 5, 6, and 7-star.
Yeah.
As far as Crucible use goes, at 4 stars, just generally speaking, I have a hard time with this character, and it could just be don't have enough time yet, haven't seen what the community does with him yet. But when I was testing him against like Odin Illuminati, as soon as you stop speed bar, he starts struggling, right? I started testing him against various Mephisto comps, and he's so slow. He has 120 speed. Phoenix, I think, is like 122, or not much faster than him. And getting 3 characters to carry Omega Red so that he gets to his turn is not an easy task against any sort of Illuminati-based team or a smart Mephisto team. So I think it's tough. I think more likely than not, he can become a one-shot answer to most Mephistos with the right pieces around him. An Odin Illuminati, I'm not quite sure. And then on the defensive end, he probably has to go with like a Mephisto or some sort of strong combo. You can't put him with Illuminati, right? Because it's 2 spots he would have to eat up. So you're not going to put him with Illuminati on the defensive side. If he's with anybody besides those 2 big powerhouses, I just wonder, like, will the Immortal X-Men not just come in and shut him down, kill him before he gets a turn? Because he's so slow and they stop speed bar. Or would you be able to come in with like Tangled Web and get a quick charges off from Weaver, because his special is not unavoidable where his ultimate is? So I struggle with that.
Is defense even an option for him? Because how many people place Undead on defense? I mean, Undying on defense. I'm thinking they're more of an offensive team. I think they're supposed to be an offensive team. They're probably going to be very good on defense. But would you reserve these characters more for offense, give me an offensive win, or would you try to screw up your opponent and give a tough defensive room for them?
You'd have to come up with a really clever defensive team for this guy to work. He doesn't have offense-only tags the same way Undying has, right? So that's why they mostly get used on offense. I do think he's supposed to be an offensive option. His best use I found so far is really kind of simplifying a 2-shot into Odin Illuminati instead of having to do, a risky first burn, and then you can try and beat it after that, but more likely than not, you're looking at 3 attacks total anyway. It's just not very exciting. The last 2 Crucible teams we've gotten, the Immortal X-Men and these guys, they haven't really been as exciting as, say, Cabal was when it first came, or Superior 6 when they first came, when they were like the undoubtedly, or Illuminati when they first came, right? Where it's like, oh, these guys are the undoubtedly apex predator team of Crucible. Now, neither of the last Crucible teams have felt like that, and I think people are getting a little burnt out for that reason.
Now, what do you think is the best 3-piece or the best 3 to complete this team? I used Cabal on the test server. I tried some random X-Men. I tried some of the Immortal X-Men, which I don't think you're going to really split up in when the actual game comes in, or actually when you're actually using these guys. So Cabal, random X-Men, or some other characters. I noticed you and the replays used Apocalypse, Nightcrawler, a few others. What did you find was the best 3 to round out this squad?
For sure. So Iron Patriot, you always got to look at when you're looking at a villain, which Omega Red Phoenix Force is. He's a villain character with the new stats, and he does flips, right? So he does a bunch of bleeds on like the Illuminati team if he gets his ultimate off. While with with Iron Patriot, he gets like 60% increased damage or something like that. So with the new stats and that damage multiplier, he just becomes a monster. So I like him with Cabal for that reason, but it could just become just Iron Patriot. Because the other aspect of this character is we need him to go faster. So a character like Nightcrawler, who could potentially give him speed bar under certain matches, is really interesting. And if all else fails and we can't get him to go faster, we need to protect him. That could be with stuns, again, from someone like Nightcrawler, a pre-taunt, somebody like Gladiator or Black Knight. So there could be a bunch of different ways to make this character work, which is why I think the community is going to do a better job than any Envoy could have done with the one trial we got to test them on.
There's what, 4 to 6 of us that really played the Crucible playtest, and there's hundreds and thousands of members of the community, so the community will figure out something better. Now, what would you say his best use case is? Because I don't think splitting of Cabal or splitting your Immortal X-Men will be the best use case for this team, the build of this team. So is it just to counter Mephisto teams to make sure you one-shot those? Because from what you're saying, it doesn't seem like they are able to one-shot these Odin teams or Illuminati teams, but Mephisto teams, if you're not pairing with those, maybe that's the best use case for him. So is Phoenix Force just to counter Mephistos in Crucible?
It could be. I mean, Mephisto is kind of the second strongest holding defense right now, right? If they're not using him on offense. Yeah. So that would probably be where Omega Red goes. I think with certain 3 pieces, I don't think you can have a Mephisto team survive what Omega Red does, because he does stop that Mephisto safeguard on his team, which is one of the biggest reasons Mephisto can hold the team together for 2 attacks, right? So I do think that's probably his primary intended use, but I can also see a world where you throw him at Odin Illuminati to make it a 2-shot instead of a 3-shot, especially if your opponent pulls their Mephisto off defense, and then you don't have like a really valuable target for him.
Makes sense. So good Crucible team has some use case, but it's not a solve all solution that's just going to kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. That's fair. I don't think that's bad, but it's fine, I guess. All right, let's talk about these level 105 level cap changes. So it is going to be 44,000 experience per commander level, 220,000 experience to get from 100 to 105. Some people are there ready because they had a bunch of campaign energy saved up. I think a lot of the Krakens, as soon as the level cap comes, they spend all their energy and they just start saving up for the next one, because they don't need to farm characters. They don't need to farm gold. They have all this stuff. So just saving all that campaign energy. What did you hoard? What did you hoard in anticipation for level cap 105?
Nothing. Nothing.
No energy from the weekend. I had like 3,000 energy saved up. I know some people had a lot more. Nothing.
No, I hoarded 1 day. So I think I had 600 experience or 600 energy going into it.
Gotcha. Now, what are you doing with your characters? Because I know we got these race to 105 milestones. I'm hoarding a lot of gold, a lot of training ads, but there are still some characters that might be worth building up. Captain Sam, maybe some of the War Machine, maybe the Phoenix Force to build up, or your X-Men characters for War. Are you building up any characters right now, or are you just saving your golden training mats for the level 105 milestones, or for your newer characters, arena characters that you really want to have those stats?
Fortunate for me, I have all the characters at level 100 already, so nice. I only have to think about who to bring up as I go. I will be a little bit more careful with my gold now that I have really hit the reserves on it. After this event, I'll have no more gold, right? After I got to level up all the characters. So my thoughts are, I'm going to be leveling fewer characters to 105, because I will hit level 105 during this event. Then I will level a bunch of characters to 101. For various reasons. It's better for the Omega Red race to 105 milestones. So I'm hoping to get 4, if not 5 Red Star Omega Red, even though I will fill in that Red Star. I'm going to be getting better stat upgrades, because the stat upgrades you get from leveling a character from 104 to 105 is about 1% higher than leveling a character from 100 to 101. So if a more important character, like say Shadow King, bringing him that extra damage and everything like that gives me more interest than say bringing up a Captain Sam to 101 to give him minimal upgrades.
Gotcha. Now, who are you first going to be upgrading? Myself, it's just going to be my arena characters here. So once in a while, I'll put Gladiator in. Once in a while, I'll put Endgame Thanos in. So pretty much these 5 characters plus Endgame Thanos and Gladiator. So my Annihilators, Mephisto, Apocalypse, Odin, and Shadow King. Those are the only 7 I'm building up. And then maybe 3 others for those milestones. Who are you thinking of building up? Arena, Raids, Crucible War? just what are your thoughts right now?
Yeah, so I mean, the benefit is all the characters you just mentioned for Arena, I would want to do them for War and Crucible anyway, so they hit all the boxes, right? I mean, that's typically what Arena characters do. So let me talk about non-Arena characters that I definitely have my eye on doing really quickly. I definitely have my eye really quickly on doing Omega Red, because like we were talking earlier between the two of us. Yeah, Crucible, and I'm only going to get him at 4 yellow stars. I'm not buying his offers nor his awakening abilities, so giving him that extra stats will be good. I'll definitely be putting the stuff on Super Skrull, Old Man Logan, Black Knight, the usual suspects. And then I'm sure there's going to be really good characters that are going to be coming out in the interim that we'll definitely be eyeing. Like, I don't know what's going to go on with Null. Null might actually come out during this time, right? Because we haven't had Battle World, obviously, for a long time now. This event lasts another 69 days. Who knows? We'll see.
Depends how many. It's all up to them. They know how many shards they're going to give us. We don't know how many shards they're going to give us, so they could choose that amount. All right, now as far as spending cores to get to level 105, by my calculations, I thought it was needed within that 69 days, but you did mention something to me very important. So let's talk about this. Campaign energy, you're getting 1 experience point per campaign energy spent. ISO 8 energy, 1 point per. Incursion energy, because that refreshes a lot slower and you're getting less per 50 core refresh. You're getting 2 experience points per incursion energy spent. Now, there are showcase events. We got 2 going on right now. I'm assuming that 2 is going to last throughout the whole 69 days. You're going to have something going on. So you're getting half an experience point per that. You're also getting some points for your daily mission. So if we add all that up, you're getting about a little over 2,600 experience every single day. And that's just free. No power core spent. And that means you need to make up a difference that gets you 182,191 over the course of 9 days, which means you need to make up a difference about 37,000. But this isn't taking into account any of these extra things that we're getting. There's an event going on right now where you're getting some experience. That just shaves off some of this. I didn't take into account a double experience day, which they always have when they raise the level cap. So that'll get us more experience. It looks like about 247 refreshes with power cores without that factored in. But with that factored in, maybe you don't need to refresh. What do you think of the timing of this? It seems like it's going to be a little bit faster than it did to get from level 95 to 100.
Yeah, I think it's going to be much faster, especially if we see more events like the mental mastery event we currently have. You were talking about it. There's experience in there. I don't know if you need to max out the event, but if you do, you're going to get 10,000 experience. So 10,000 off of your 37,000 already. And what are the chances they're going to run another event like that? Or another event like they had last week where the leaderboard was giving experience? Or what about character votes where we get an additional 50 energy? That's another 50 experience. Or what about the strike pass where they just threw in an extra 370 free to play energy and another 1,000 payer energy, right? So, and this is great for Scope. Like, don't get me, this is great for Scope because now they are eating up a reward socket in the milestones and in ranked rewards, and they're slapping experience in there, and everyone's like, yes, experience. When in reality, exactly what you have here was my findings too. With kind of your regular coring, you're just going to get through this very organically and naturally by the time the 69 days are up, which is great. I will do a little correction on what you were saying earlier. We've always had experience boosts except the last level cap. The last level cap, we got
Did we not get one? Did we not get one? Okay, then I'm remembering that wrong then.
Yeah. Well, this is the danger of Datamines. And they've been mostly correct lately. The Datamines last level cap increase showed a potential 3 times coming and a potential 4 times coming. And those never came. They never came during it.
Okay, now I remember it. Now I remember that. All right, so my point is, it's just not taking into account all the stuff they're giving us. They're also giving us campaign energy and milestones and things like that. But I'm looking at these mental mastery milestones. Some of these look pretty hard to get. So this last 4,000, I'm not going to count. So let's say there's 6,000 in this, because if you really push, I think you can get to these milestones, milestone 16. Probably not this last 4,000. So let's say there's 6,000 in there. There's probably going to be some events also. So yeah, you probably don't need to core it all to get to level 105 during these 69 days.
Which is a good thing. Let's be real. That is actually a good thing that Scopely has done. If we can organically get there, and it makes more sense to bring certain characters higher than a mass amount of characters higher for this event, it makes this event better. Now, the argument is people want to rush to 105 because overall, that's a 20%
If you want to,
increase.
cool. If you want to, do it. There's nothing stopping you and there's nothing making you do it. So if you want to, cool.
Yeah. It'll help you in PvP, right?
It will. It'll help you in PvP, war, arena and stuff. But if you're just looking for these milestones like I am, you don't need to core because you'll get it within these 69 days.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I never was doing is when you go to this offer section here, there's a strike store here. I guess I never went to it as soon as it got added because I never spent any of these strike store tokens. Well, there is one thing that you may want to spend on. There's energy here, 130 energy for 1,000 of this strike store stuff, and that's good if you're trying to reach that. Did you know about this? Have you been spending any of your strike store points?
Yeah, I spent about 30,000 of it the first day. I realized that
nice.
Although it's a nice amount of energy, it didn't really make it down. Still not 101. But another thing that's cool about this is those orbs. I think you get 170,000 gold for each one of those you buy as well.
Okay. Okay. So
that's helpful.
Not the worst. Not the worst. So if you do have some of these saved up, this might be the time that you want to spend it now because you can get some energy. And normally energy isn't that valuable except when there's a level cap. Now let's go back to these race to 105 milestones. You said you're shooting for that 4-star for Omega Red?
Yeah, 4 or 5. Because I think I'm going to be able to get a lot more just of the bulk rewards. And who knows when this guy will be added to the DPC store or when we'll get another shot at his shards, right? So just whatever you can get for him during this time, I think is something you should strive for.
And I think Scopely is trying to get that phone to get more sales. However, I'm definitely not purchasing the character because I don't know when he's going to come back. If I knew he'd have a normal cadence, I might get this character because I do enjoy Cosmic Crucible, but Zombie Juggernaut still has not been made farmable for over a year. There's no permanent farm location. There has been some offers. There's been some events. I do him at 6 stars without, I don't think I got any of those offers, but I don't have him at 7 stars. Same thing with Omega Red. For me, it's causing me not to buy this character. I know you said you're not going to buy this character. So is this limited time causing you to spend less money, or is it increasing your FOMO? Like, maybe I should because I don't know when he's going to come back.
Oh, I'm a degenerate gambler. All right. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm missing my chance. So like I want to go and buy him to 5 or 6 stars because I know that'll help me push more in Crucible. But I just can't bring myself to do it on the price point anymore. I'm kind of burnt out on that. And I've been experimenting with other games, having a lot of fun. So I try and save my spending on these games now to like battle pass territory. And I actually haven't been buying those lately either, just because I didn't feel the need to. But that's just a whole other story. I think they're doing an epic miss on these epic characters because, like you said, nobody knows what's going on with Zombie Juggernaut, and nobody's like being incentivized to go out and buy him. Now, there's no hype behind that character anymore. I think for these epic characters, they said they had an internal Bible. I think they need to look at that Bible for these epic characters and just kind of shoot straight with the community. Tell us the time metrics so that we can make an informed buying decision. Because if they said, hey guys, Omega Red's here now, you will not have access to his shards for another 6 months, in which case we will run another release style event. So if you can get 100 shards, 180 shards now, in 6 months you get another 180 shards. And then 4 months after that, put on a 10, 11th month time or whatever, then he'll be farmable. Like, give us some sort of understanding about how this character works, because that could build up hype to his next release. Like, okay, I've had good use at a 4-star, but now I know I want him higher. I don't want to wait an additional 3 months after this. And then I think Scopely could probably get more, more bees with honey than vinegar, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they definitely would have got me if there were more honey and less vinegar, because for myself, this is causing less. I know there's some people like, oh, I'm not sure what to do. I'm going to spend more, but I don't know. I think a lot of the community is kind of on the fence with these releases. Now, as far as what you need to get to that 105, talk about 10 characters. So if you're doing 10 characters up to level 105, that is going to get you all those milestone points to get you milestone 15 to get this 4-star unlock for Omega Red. Less than 100 million gold, less than 1,000 or 10,000 of these L4 training mats. However, if for some reason you don't get to level 105, you're only level 104. If you want to get to that milestone 15 for that 4 red, you need to level up 22 tunes to level 104. That is 165 million gold and over 16,000 of these L4 training mats. So if you were someone that maybe wasn't playing all the time, is it worth spending some power cores to make sure that you're getting up to level 105 so that costs a lot less gold? Or would you just kind of play this and like forget these milestones?
I don't think you need to forget the milestones. Here's the thing. 69 days, I think every month we're getting around 150 million gold. So as long as you're not using your gold on like the gold store on those really expensive like Crimson gears anymore, you could very feasibly get 22 characters to level 104. Okay. I don't think that would be particularly hard if you are, you know, in an active alliance, say farming the gold orb nodes in the regular campaign and the showcases. Like, I think that's a very reasonable and manageable amount of gold and L4s to build up over 69 days. So I think it's really easy to get both the 4 yellow and red stars on Omega Red. I think they want every engaged player to get it.
All right, so you should be able to get this, even if you're not highly engaged. If you're just playing on a daily basis, pretty easy to get to 104. If you're getting all the events and all the bonuses, you should get to 105, no problem. And yes, milestone 15 should be pretty achievable, it seems, for a lot of players, especially if you're saving your gold over the months, because this is a 69-day event, not just a 1 month or 2 month. It's over 3 month event, so this should take a while and shouldn't take too much cores for you to get this stuff. All right, big thing that happened right before we started recording. New Crucible rules were announced. New tournament coming up. There is an Ultimate 32, which only has 3 rooms coming up. That is going to start next week on the 26th of January. And then there's going to be a Crucible tournament that you are going to be in. I'm going to be in. A bunch of other content creators are going to be in. It's going to be a little different. Let's talk about these rules for Ultimate 32. So the first rule is overcharge on offense and defense. All characters' special abilities cost 4 more ability energy. Ultimates cost 4 less. This seems similar to what we've had before. Have we had this exact room before, or were some of these specials and ultimates cost a little different?
Yeah, I want to say we've had this exact room before, or something that might have been the special costs 2 more and the ultimate costs 2. We've had at least some sort of variation. This is a very sort of normal room that we're used to, except it also normally came with like when you do your basic or when an enemy dies, you get energy to try and bridge that gap and help you get that energy faster. This room is pretty unexciting for me, to be honest with you, though it will make Omega Red Phoenix Force shine, because Omega Red Phoenix Force's ultimate is so much better than his special.
That's what it's for. That's exactly what this is for, the Phoenix Force. Yeah. All right, next rule. Also, all about the X-Men and Avengers. On offense and defense, X-Men characters count as Immortal X-Men and Uncanny Avengers, and Avenger characters will also count as Mighty Avengers and Uncanny Avenger characters. So pretty much all Avengers and X-Men are Uncanny Avengers. And then you get the X-Men bonuses from Immortal X-Men and the Avenger bonuses from Mighty Avengers. Lots of options here based kind of around the new teams that we have, based on kind of around the Uncanny Avengers. Any other characters used here on defense? More to the War team, the Crucible team here, and then figuring out what you'd use on offense in this room?
You see, you said there's lots of options. I don't think there is, because Immortal X-Men has offense-based tags. So you're not going to be able to make a defensive Immortal X-Men. So although this is really cool for offense, where I can throw in Nightcrawler with my Immortal X-Men, because, you know, the Immortal X-Men, they're really slow to get going. Well, Nightcrawler speeds them all up, and he has a stun and really cool stuff, right? Or Old Man Logan go in there, because he's an X-Men character. All of a sudden, like, we have really devastating offensive options we can put in here. For the Avengers stuff, why? Like, I feel like this was a huge missed opportunity where they should have been like Avengers counted as Immortal X-Men.
Captain Sam? Does Captain Sam have value now with his huge stat bonuses and the Liberty team rework and everything like that? Is Captain Sam going to be used in this Ultimate 32? He's got he's got some huge stats now.
No, because why would it matter unless War rules are active here? Why do you care about the Mighty Avengers tag?
Just because his stats. Just because his huge stats.
No, but the Mighty Avengers tag adds nothing to that unless rules are on. There's no reason that the second line of text here should exist. And so basically this room is going to be like, what do you not want your opponent to use Immortal X-Men on? What do you want to bait them into trying to use their Immortal X-Men on? Okay, put that here and put the actual Immortal X-Men counter in a different room. Because, like, I don't want to put Super Skrull and Annihilators here and be like, okay, opponent, beat that now with your supercharged Immortal team. And they're going to be like, bet. So this is just a room to kind of avoid Immortal X-Men counters. That's it.
I like what you're saying. You've obviously put more thought than do I have. So I agree with what you're saying. It makes a lot of sense. Turtle Shell. I love this. Actually, I hate this name. I hate this name, Turtle Shell. On offense and defense, all characters, 50% max barrier. This is offense is gonna get this as well. On spawn, bury yourself 100% of the character's max health. Gain 100% damage. On ally death, bury yourself for 100% of the character's max health. Jeez. This is gonna be tough. Offense and defense. I feel a lot of timeouts in this room.
Yeah, I feel like this was a huge missed opportunity by Scopely to not name this room the Snapping Turtle. Because they give it 100% increased damage. Like, Snapping Turtle is a devastating jaw power and just rips things, and it's got the shell. Like, what a huge missed opportunity by the naming department here. But this room is actually, in my opinion, the most interesting. Because, like you said, lots of barrier, lots of refreshing barrier here. So I guess we're going to see some characters that maybe clear barrier, maybe Super Scroll Basics come into play, maybe Old Man Logan Ultimate comes into play. Who else was clearing barrier? Oh, the entire Astral team.
There was a big list that was making when for Battle World. So go back to that Battle World list for all the stuff for Null. All those will be good in this room.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Apocalypse Ultimate, Red Hulk Special, I think it was. So lots of cool stuff that can happen here. I like this room. This room is intriguing to me.
All right, what do you think of only 3 rooms though? We've only had 6 before. They said they're going to try to play with different rooms and things like that, different types of defenses. Just the first one we're getting this year, and this is pretty wacky compared to everything we've had in Crucible before. What do you think is this going to make? Because only 3 defensive teams, only 3 offensive teams. Ooh.
Yeah, so I don't know where you're ranked for Crucible. At the highest ranked Crucible right now, only 3 rooms matter. It's what are you doing with Mephisto? Where's your Odin Illuminati? And are you doing some sort of like Annihilator Skrull room or maybe some sort of Superior 6 room? Yeah, Kahori with Endgame Thanos, that sort of thing. Yeah. Like, and then the other 3 rooms are just garbage. And it's just like your garbage teams beat their garbage teams.
Sometimes, let me tell you, Dorky, I'd lost on one of those garbage rooms. I beat all the hard rooms and then I just didn't have enough left. So sometimes those garbage rooms do make a difference. They
can, especially if chat misleads you and tells you to use New Warriors.
That happens as well. And sometimes they just misplay, but you know.
So for sure, there's some aspect there. And to your point, to what you just said, I think it's actually more interesting to add rooms. So that's only for like the higher brackets for people that have wider rosters. Because then you get to like those kind of B, C tier teams matter more, and what you can actually save to counter them matters more. When it's condensed like this, I think it's gonna really benefit the casual community to have it condensed like this, especially because this is not going to be a 3-day tournament. It should be like a 5-day tournament, like the last one. So it's going to be more content, which I mean, make it less during one day and then spread out extra days. I kind of like that. And I think we're going to see a lot of creative rooms here, but I just don't think it innately makes it more interesting for very engaged players.
All right, maybe going forward, based on your TCP, if it's smaller, you're a newer player, less rooms. As you get more to the end game and have a wider roster, have more options, you get more rooms, and then you get the normal 6 if you're somewhere in the middle, and then they just go that. Maybe that adds more fun. Maybe it makes it more complicated. I would like to see if the community does enjoy that though.
Yeah, me too. They mentioned something about that in the blog ahead, the road ahead or whatever at the end of the year. So we'll see if they do something like that. I think like lower brackets should have less rooms. The higher brackets get more rooms kind of thing. We'll see.
Also based on your ranking in Crucible, not necessarily your TCP.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good too. That'd be cool too. All right. We also got a brand new team announced this Monday. We announced it this weekend though. The Liberty team. We talked a little bit about reworks of Captain Sam and War Machine. Some huge stat upgrades, but just pretty much in War. And then we got Patriot. We got Peggy Carter, not the Captain Carter, the real Peggy Carter, not the what if alternate universe version, and a new version of Falcon, Joaquin Torres. What are your thoughts on this team? Do they have any value outside of War? They look very strong in War, but what is their use outside of War?
Yeah, in War they look monstrous. Outside of War, there's a lot of interest there because of what Falcon brings, right? Falcon has a speed of 130, and the first time an enemy takes a turn, he gives speed up to his entire team. Because this is a turn-based game, speed is king here. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting on how that'll play out. Now, it is not a speed up on spawn, so it's going to play a lot like how Scientist Supreme's speed up works, right? How it comes in like after a bunch of these time ticks is what we call it, which is a metric when you're measuring speed. So interesting to see how that plays out, and if that plays out nearly as good as it does for the Orcus team with the tankiness of these guys, the insane healing, and the like mega control Peggy Carter and I believe Falcon brings. We could see some use for these guys for sure in a mode like Crucible. And I mean, the biggest concern is when I look at a team outside of the mode, I kind of think towards like Sword Satellite and things like that. I'm like, okay, how would these guys handle having to punch up into a really dangerous comp? Well, when I look at their kits, it seems like they have to take at least one opening hit before they get to go, right? To activate that speed up from the first enemy turn, which is a red flag. But excited to see where they go, because I think it's a really cool thematic team, even though I'm very much Canadian.
They've been experimenting with that for a while, ever since like the Out of Time team tried to experiment with this speed meta. Now, we talk about building these characters. Now, a lot of these new teams, you might not need them for anything, except for like Milestones, Kyln Towers, Sword Satellites, things like that. And we do have a Kyln Tower coming up next week. Captain Sam does have that Avenger tag. We talked about him in Cosmic Crucible, probably not worth building because of the war bonuses, but what about this Kyln Tower? Is it worth building someone like Captain Sam or War Machine? Or maybe not War Machine is Avenger, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it worth building either of these for the potential Kyln Tower use, or wait till Kyln Tower is announced or it comes up, see if you need them for Kyln Tower before you start to build them?
I'm going to say no, just for the reason that, like, look, Spotlight Raid 2, Difficulty 2, you need to have those characters at Purple 3 anyway. I know not everybody is racing to do that highest difficulty because the per day rewards don't really match the investment that Purple ISO taxes on you. Yeah. But if you're going to put Purple ISO on an Avenger character, it might as well also double dip and help you with those raids. And I think if you do the Uncanny Avenger team, whatever overlap you can get between Avengers and X-Men, I think they'll probably just beat the Kyln Tower like that, especially if you use older characters with diamonds. So yeah, I don't think I would ever prioritize Captain Sam over one of those Uncanny Avengers at this moment.
And that's just more for the limitations of the ISO 8, not necessarily for building these characters with gold and training mass and things like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha, that makes sense. I didn't even think of the ISO 8 requirements, but yeah, I was thinking save my gold in training mats. All right, let's talk about these characters individually. Peggy Carter, which is she giving you value outside of war? Do you see any value for her outside of this team, or is she pretty much limited to the Liberty team in war?
Well, with the speed of 125, that's always sort of a red flag because it's not fast enough to get ahead to make her like a plug and play character. Yeah. So you're looking at her as kind of a supporting piece, right? She does have slow all over the place. Can we go to her passive for a second? Does she stop enemies from getting speed up outside of war, or is that war only?
It's in war only. Enemies with slow cannot gain speed up.
Yeah, always. They also have to have slow. Okay, and it's also, yeah, I'm not really seeing it. Like, she's gonna have sort of out of turn ping damage that we see with like a Omega Sentinel.
She will be applying slow at the end of any Liberty turn, so they probably will have slow.
Yeah, maybe? but it won't. So outside of war, we're talking.
Yeah, right? She's not going to do the speed up. Yeah. So, but they're probably going to have slow in war. Is my point.
Yeah. Okay. So. No, I don't think she'll have plug and play value. I don't super love her outside of her team with those limitations.
All right. I don't remember what Falcon's kit is, but I remember looking at it, I'm like, this is a pretty good kit outside of war. What are your thoughts on Falcon? Joaquin Torres Falcon.
Yeah, so with the speed of 130, I like that. And with the ISO attack giving speed up to self and Liberty allies, I like that as well. Because if we put him with, say, Captain Sam, and he can get an early attack off, an early speed up onto Captain Sam, then Captain Sam can use his ultimate, and then we can maybe see a power couple come out of them that will supercharge 3 other pieces. I could see something like that happening. Besides that, though, I actually don't super love his kit. I don't love how his special, a lot of it is for Liberty only, and a lot of it is hidden behind war. So he's healing on the special, and he's flipping negative effects, but it's only Liberty allies. It's just himself and Liberty. So not a huge amount of plug and play, but on the team, very interesting for sure. And I think his ultimate's around the same sort of lines as well. Yeah, heal self and Liberty allies, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm remembering this wrong. There is a lot of in-war bonuses here. All right, Patriot, Eli Bradley. Speed 121. He's a brawler, so probably the big damage of the team outside of War Machine. What are your thoughts on this guy? Any use outside of war for Patriot?
Well, I really like his bleeds, but at the end of the day, that speed is a little bit too much to overcome as a plug and play character. So outside of war, not loving it. But if we're talking about outside of war with the whole team together, then that kind of changes the equation. And I think it probably would then go on the same sort of tier you would put, say, Orcus on, especially with that sort of similar speed up situation. Yeah, I think I would give them that same nod just because of the stats they bring, the control they bring, and the speed, curiosity that Falcon is giving to the team.
So as far as war, very, very good. And as far as Crucible, maybe Orcus level, good.
Yeah.
And Crucible as a full team, but not really plug and play value for each of these characters.
No, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, when you, whether it be in war or outside of war, I think we're going to sit War Machine, probably. Because he's so slow.
Yeah, he has a lot of damage, but sometimes that's not what you need. You need some trickiness and some useful effects in the team for that to happen. All right, let's move on to an event from last week, because this one was a little controversial in with the community. If we look at a poll that was done on the Discord server, did you obtain a monthly item from the Phoenix Force Fitness milestone? The highest voted was no, but I usually get the event item. One was a yes, I usually get the event item. Those are the two most popular choices. Did you, actually, let me move this up so you can see the votes there. Yeah, so 2 is the most popular. 1 was the second most popular. Did you get the event item for the Phoenix Force Fitness?
No, I didn't. I'm in that no category as well.
I did. I usually do. I played every single day, did all my Crucible matchups. I didn't spend enough ISO 8. I forgot about it the last refresh. I was going to do a 100 core refresh, and then I was waiting to the end, recording a video, totally forgot about it. What do you think of the design of this? I think the big problem with this is the web milestones, where you have to spend cores on that showcase energy. I don't like that. I don't like that the entire month. And then you also have to spend cores on your ISO 8 pretty daily for this, which is why I think a lot of people missed it. Do you think this was designed like this on purpose, or do you think they missed something here?
No, in regular Scopely fashion, I would definitely attribute this to, I'll say stupidity and not malice. I think so. Listen, any sort of monthly meta event item should be balanced around the inputs that don't involve any additional coring of any campaign. For what, listen, as an event designer, this should be so easy, right? They are giving them leeway for what is this, the last 7 milestones in this event. So the milestone after the meta, you could balance that around people having to use 200 cores on the ISO. Yeah. Then the milestone after that one, you can balance it around. Okay, now they have to do 200 cores on ISO and 200 cores on the Uncanny campaign. And the milestone after that one, you make to the hundreds. There's a way just to dumb this down to the simplest way possible, and then just put a price tag on the final milestone. And it's kind of absurd that we're at this spot where a lot of people miss this. Yeah. If they weren't already, which they have been in the past, I think the actual monthly event is still going to be completable without that piece. I think they did do a better job of balancing the monthly event. There's those times that even when you get all the meta items, they had to give out compensation because they didn't balance that part correctly. Now I'm noticing after 3 events, I'm getting all of that for the monthly items. So that part is good. This part feels bad though, especially if you look at the scoring. Did all the web battles in war, used absolute A4s, got all that for Crucible. Didn't get the Hercules because I didn't have it at 5 stars, but got all the other meta items. Just didn't spend enough, and I spent a lot of cores on this stuff. I just didn't spend enough to get this. So this was designed very, very bad, and I hope they don't do this kind of events in the thing. And I think a lot of it comes from those web milestones where you have to spend cores on a stupid showcase event that just doesn't really reward too much. 100% in agreement. Yeah,
it's not a good event. Let's move over to this one that's going on right now. This one seems a lot better, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You got a level cap. It's about spending campaign energy. I want to spend this right now. I'm just because of the level cap. I'm already spending the 100 core refreshes just because of that anyway. So it's kind of double dipping in that. Already did all the stuff with the Cosmic Crucible. Oh, I do need to do more Cosmic Crucible battles, I guess. But yeah, pretty friendly it seems. If you get all the way to here, you get that Jean Grey unlock milestone 18. Even if you get to milestone 16, you're still getting a lot of experience. I think this is way better design than last week. We still have to do those stupid web milestones, but outside of that, much better. What do you think of Mental Mastery?
Yeah, I like it. Now, I was clowning Scope because they are eating up a reward sock by putting an experience in there, which I think actually a lot of people liked about this.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Don't stop clowning him. Stop doing that. That's good.
Put that in every event going forward, and I think that's fine. But no, I think this is great because you were showing that Strike store earlier, right? And I think a lot of people that are past players probably went to that Strike store, got a bunch of extra energy for this. So we'll probably see more people snagging that 30 shards for Jean Grey at the very end there than we normally see people reach in these later milestones, just because people are pushing for the level cap right now.
Yeah, I'm spending campaign energy anyway. If it's just this event, I would be like, maybe I want to do the 50 cores. Now I'm gladly spending 100s just because I want to get to 105 faster. Not for the race of 105 milestones like we talked about, just because I want to build my characters and get a little stronger in Arena and Crucible and Born and things like that.
For sure.
All right. But one of the big things the community is asking about is, are we going to get another legendary character before Professor X comes? We go to the early 2025 preview. It does say Professor X is coming spring of 2025. Is there going to be another character in this spot before spring of 2025? We got Old Man Logan at the top. We got Odin, which I don't think was supposed to be here on the right side. I think the original plans was something else. We got Shadow King here. Nothing on this spot. Are we going to get that spot filled, or is this just 3 spots? It looks weird like this.
So here's the thing. If they're looking at a Canadian spring, that could be in May. Like, we don't lose our snow till May sometime. So they could have another 4 months. They don't say American spring. Just throwing it out there.
True. So and it doesn't say the official data spring. It could just be when it starts to get a little warmer. Maybe it doesn't get warmer for 5 months, 6 months.
Exactly. They know what they're doing. They got some time. I think that it would be silly to not have another character go in there, which also makes me think that there's probably not going to be another character that goes. It's just something Scopely would do. They just forgot.
I mean, Odin, I don't think Odin was supposed to be in this spot. Odin, I think, was a reaction to Battle World be delayed and like, oh, we need something else for them to chase because we got nothing right now. So they got Odin, Dark Dimension 8, and he came up here. I think he was supposed to be have his own character originally, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think, community? Is this spot going to be filled? Do they have enough time to have another legendary character, or is Professor X just going to have 3 and this image is going to look weird forever?
I got it, Valley. I got it.
All right. What is it?
Okay. When Gear Tier 20 comes to the game, they're going to put Gear Tier 20 pieces there, because then that's the journey, right? We had the Old Man Logan Legendary, we had a Dark Dimension 8, we had Shadow King, and now you need this new gear for Professor X. It all makes sense.
That could happen. That would be so disappointing, though. That would be like the worst.
It would be.
Now, if we go to the bottom of this, 2025 blog post, they say, please note the information in the blog is under investigation. We suspect there may be some foul play. I noticed this spelling right off the bat. It should be spelled a little different. This is FOWL if you're just listening to the podcast version of it, like a bird. So does that mean Howard the Duck is coming in 2025? And could he be the next legendary character that fits in this spot? What is your thought, DorkyDad? Does a tinfoil hat fit?
100% confirmed. DorkyDad stamp of approval. Or somebody's really bad at spelling.
Master of Quack Food 2025. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, baby. Now, on to another more important topic. This game, Marvel Mystic Mayhem. The playtest just ended this past Monday. Had a lot of fun playing this. I had a lot more fun playing this than Marvel Strike Force, actually. Do you think Howard the Duck is going to come to this game? We've only had like 12 characters maybe. Hulk, a few other characters. Is Howard the Duck coming to this game? And what were your thoughts in this game? How much fun did you have compared to Strike Force at its height?
At its height, okay, so that's a different question.
So not right now. At its height, when it was the funnest time of the game, how did Mystic Mayhem compare in its launch to the heights of Strike Force?
Okay, so I'm gonna be weird about this. Okay, the height of my fun with Marvel Strike Force was the very first tower, which I think was around the same time we had one of the Scourge events come. Okay. Those 2 events were so fun together, okay? And they dumpster Marvel Mystic Mayhem. They were so good. They were so fun. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Okay. This was beta. Marvel Mystic Mayhem was a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool stuff there. There's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of pitfalls there as well. But, I mean, it smashes Marvel Strike Force currently. Let's say that.
I think it's better than Marvel Strike Force currently right now.
Currently, for sure. But at its height, Marvel Strike Force was amazing. I hope it gets back there. But let's talk Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Okay, Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Okay. So much fun. We had, I think, 10 days on the playtest. It's the thing about the game that's going to turn a lot of people off is the gacha system, which is very funny.
The
unlock,
a lot of people, yes,
yeah,
the shard and no shards.
Well, that's the thing, right? Lots of people hate Marvel Strike Force character release, but you do get every single character eventually. In a gacha system, that is not guaranteed. But like you said, there was very few characters, so you kind of should organically.
Now, in the beta, they did have this trial system where you got like a free 3-star. You got all the characters after, I think, like 10 days or whatever the amount of days. You got all the characters at a 3-star. Now, you couldn't build them because they're trial characters, but you could still fully play them, building them up. Do you think that's something that they're going to have in the game going forward? Because I wouldn't mind not getting those characters in that loot box. If I get like at least a 3-star version of that character that I get to play for free. They had that in the playtest. Do you think that it's going to be in the live server when that goes? Because that pity, that's pretty good as far as a pity system. Because I get to use all the characters right away. Whether I could build them further than that, I need to get lucky on that.
I don't think they will. Here's my thinking behind this. Okay, certain characters in Marvel Mystic Mayhem are so powerful for certain game modes. Like if you are trying to farm gold, the mission is you need to kill a certain amount of bugs within a minute. If you kill 40, you're good to go. Exactly. This is exactly what I was going to bring up. Storm and Iron Man, who are both 3-star characters. If you get them in a trial card, you can build up every single thing about them except their abilities, right? You can't build their abilities up. But even just having them in that base form would get you there. Now, that becomes a selling point, right? So if I know that as a player, if I were to unlock Iron Man, I could all of a sudden do the highest difficulty of the gold challenge, then I'm incentivized to buy him. But if I get him for free in trial, then that's not going to be the case. I think about other gacha games, like even the King Arthur game that I'm playing. Yeah. And do they give away characters like that? No. Okay. But I also think that because this is NetEase, and we saw what they did with Marvel Rivals, although there's like 12 or 18 characters in the game right now, I expect that number to double by the time they go to global release.
Okay. Now, when do you think this is going to be global release? Because in the closed beta FAQ, they said based on the feedback, there may be another playtest, or they could just go launch it. So do you think, based on what you've seen from feedback so far, they'll do another playtest and it'll be a little while, or this will be launched very, very soon? Or within the next 3 to 6 months, this will be launched? No playtest. I
think by August 2025, this game will be globally released. But I think that they should do another playtest in the midterm. I think they need to work on the PvP modes a little bit to add a little bit more player agency in those modes to get that dialed up. I think they need to have an actual PvP mode that uses your actually built characters instead of RNG, which is great because then it means a free-to-play player and a whale are on the exact same footing. Like your characters, they're not affected by your builds, which I think is actually kind of cool. I think they need to work on the PvE modes in the sense that I was talking about the Gold Challenge. Well, Gold Challenge Difficulty 1 and Gold Challenge Difficulty 7 are the exact same gameplay, except the mobs have more life, right? So I think they need to add in more obstacles, more maybe different map
variety,
when you get a certain difficulty.
Variety of gameplay under different challenges.
Exactly. I think they have a lot of work to do. Case, I actually have a lot of faith in NetEase just because I see what they did with Marvel Rivals. I know Marvel Rivals is a much bigger game than Marvel Mystic Mayhem is on the radar of general people because it's a hero shooter versus a hero collector mobile, right? Yeah. But I actually think that NetEase is really good being true to comic book characters. The way they tell the story in Marvel Mystic Mayhem, it feels like you're reading.
The story was great. The story presentation. I don't think I've watched the story in Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Like this is like a comic book. The voice acting was good. The animations were the story wise, it's really, really good.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of things that show that this game is a game built in 2025 and not a game built in 2017 or whatever Marvel Strike Force came out,
goodness, right? It has been a long chase.
Yeah. So there's so much potential here, guys. Just be honest, like when this game comes out, I will 100% be covering it as a daily coverage game. It's fun. It's worth it.
I only made one video and I was playing this thing every single day for a few hours a day. I was like, I gotta either make videos of it or stop playing because it's not good for business, the channel. It's not good for the channel. The time I'm spending playing all this. So. Yeah. I think it's going to be fun. Hopefully we get more info on what they're doing, if there's going to be another playtest or if they get a launch date. But if you did check this out, or checked out either of our videos on this or any of our videos on this, let me know your thoughts on Marvel Mystic Mayhem. So I'm looking forward to when Marvel Mystic Mayhem comes back, and a lot coming up in Marvel Strike Force. We got the Race to 105, Kyln Tower, Ultimate 32, lots to look forward to. What are you most hyped about next week, Bert the Dorky?
Yeah, I'm excited to play the Kyln Tower. After seeing the Datamines, it might just be like a flash pan moment, right? Where it just you go in, you'd finish it. If the nodes are that, what it looks like to be very easy. So we'll see how that goes. It might actually be disappointing, but we'll have to wait and see.
I hope it is challenging. I hope it's challenging.
At least just a smidge, right? Just a smidge.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing for me, I've been playing for a while. If it's challenging for me, a lot of the newer mid-game players will think it's way too hard, kind of like that Frozen Dimension. So I don't know what the balance is, but well, hopefully it's fun. Hopefully it's very fun. And I hope you got a lot of value from this video. If you did, leave it a like. Make sure you go and check out Dorky's channel. Lots of content all about Kyln Tower, Ultimate 32, everything else. And if you want to check out what are the trap teams in Marvel Strike Force, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Are you ready for a fist bump, brother Dorky?
Let's get it, my guy.
All right, Hog Fist Bump, ValleyFlyin, DorkyDad out. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week.